Good evening and welcome on board the Newstrack. I'm Rahul Kanwal. The big political face-off over Monument Wapsi. What consequences can this clamour over the Gyanvapi Mosque and what we're seeing in the Qutub Minar, what we're seeing at Taj Mahal and elsewhere have on Indian politics? That's my top focus on the Newstrack tonight.
Another Shivling video surfaces. 29-second video triggers big storm. Owaisi warns of Babri rerun. Says shut fountains of Taj.
मुबारक को अगर इस तरह अगर पेश किया जा रहा है तो कल ताजमहल को बंद कर देना पड़ेगा। ताजमहल के सामने भी फव्वारे लगे हैं। कहाँ जाके बात रुकेगी फिर ये?
Congress calls it BJP drama. Politics over faith. Big focus on Newstrack.
Here's a look at the headlines I'm tracking tonight. Gyanvapi moment for Delhi's Qutub Minar, 1200-year-old idol of Lord Narsingha found in the complex mega monument Wapsi war erupts. Rajiv Gandhi's killer, Perarivalvam, released by the Supreme Court after 31 years in jail. Celebrations in Coimbatore, ruling DMK and AIADMK fight for credit. Accused of killing her daughter Sheena Bora, Indrani Mukherjee granted bail by the Supreme Court. Indrani set to walk out after 6.5 years in jail. Patidar face, Hardik Patel dumps the Congress, blasts the Gandhis in a resignation letter in which he says they are more interested in foreign trips, speculations of him joining the BJP. Trouble for Chidambaram's day after CBI raids over China bribe gate. Probe agency arrests Karthi Chidambaram's top aide in the corruption case. A new 29-second video of the alleged Shivling at Kashi's Gyanvapi Mosque complex has sparked massive upheaval. The unedited footage shows the Shivling and the well near the Wazukhana. Meanwhile, politics is already exploding over this issue. While Assuddin Owaisi is calling it an attempt by the BJP to return to the Babri era, the BJP is demanding the scrapping of the Places of Worship Act.
Another video of the claimed Shivling inside the Gyanvapi Mosque complex in Varanasi. This one shows the well-like structure next to the Wazukhana. The Hindu side claims that the well houses the Shivling. Earlier images accessed by India Today showed the claimed Shivling inside this water body. The latest clip has only made the claim of the Hindu side stronger. They're now asking, what more proof is needed?
हमने एप्लीकेशन लगाई है, वो एक एप्लीकेशन है फैक्ट से सर्टेन करने की, कोर्ट के पटल पे अपनी बातें लाने की, और माननीय न्यायालय जरूर इसको देखेगा, इसके मेरिट्स को देखेगा. मुस्लिम साइड से अंजुमन इंतजामिया से उनके जवाब मंगाए जाएंगे.
The site where the claimed Shivling has been spotted has been secured after the Supreme Court order on Tuesday. The local administration has put 9 locks and 2 CRPF Jawans have also been deployed. They will guard this entire area 24/7. A deputy superintendent of police rank officer, the head of the Kashi temple security and 3 CRPF commandants will review security on a 24/7 basis. While the hearing in the Varanasi court did not take place on Wednesday, the Mandir Masjid dispute has already taken political center stage.
ज्ञानवापी मस्जिद का और इस तरह के घटनाक्रम भारतीय जनता पार्टी जानबूझ करके करती है.
मैं चाहूंगा कि अभी भी समय है कि इन 3 मस्जिदों पर, इन 3 मंदिरों के साथ जो अन्याय हुआ, जो मस्जिदें बनाई गई इनके आसपास या मंदिर तोड़कर मस्जिद बनाए गए, उन पर बैठकर हिंदू समाज के साथ या हिंदू समाज के जो लोग रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं उनके साथ बैठकर इस पे कोई सलाह करे, बातचीत करे और रास्ता निकालें।
इनकी विचारधारा में, इनकी सोच के अंदर जो आप देख रहे हो, क्या तमाशे हो रहे हैं देश के अंदर, अब एक नया तमाशा शुरू कर देंगे वहां पर।
The mosque panel continues to claim that the Shivling is actually a water fountain. The Lucknow All India Muslim Personal Law Board has also decided to form a legal committee that will oversee this entire case.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने यह भी कहा कि मुसलमानों के जो रिलीजियस तरीके से जो आप नमाज पढ़ते हैं जो है उसमें वजू भी शामिल है, तो वजू करेंगे उसमें हाउस में जाकर, और 400 साल से उस वजू को उस फवारे को कुछ नुकसान नहीं हुआ। और अगर ये फवारे को अगर इस तरह अगर पेश किया जा रहा है तो कल ताजमहल को बंद कर देना पड़ेगा। ताजमहल के सामने भी फवारे लगे हैं, कहां जाके बात रुकेगी फिर ये?
Hindu motifs, the spotting of a reported Shivling. Will the survey report that's due to be submitted in the next few days be a game changer in the Gyanvapi Mosque Kashi temple case? Bureau Report, India Today.
Asuddin Owaisi asks, where will these claims of monument Wapsi stop? It's Kashi today, Mathura tomorrow. Will it be the Taj Mahal and the Qutub Minar soon after? And is this what Indian politics should be dealing with at this time? What impact can this have on Indian politics over the next several months in the build-up to the next round of state and then the general elections? Joining us to talk about this and more, representing the ruling BJP, its spokesperson GVL Narasimha Rao, squaring off against him, Pawan Khera from the Congress, Ashutosh Verma from the Samajwadi Party, Dr. Taslim Ahmad Rahmani, President of the Muslim Political Council of India, Sriraj Nair from the VHP. I want to ask GVL Narasimha Rao first. We just ran excerpts from that interview with Asuddin Owaisi. He asks a question asked by many people in the minority community, that it was Ayodhya yesterday, it is Kashi and the Gyanvapi Mosque today. We are hearing clamour about Qutub Minar, the Taj Mahal, Mathura. There are hundreds of such temples which have been turned into mosques across the country. Where are we going with this? Where will this stop? GVL Narasimha Rao, let's start with you.
Yeah, Rahul, good evening to you and all the panelists and the viewers. I think Mr. Owaisi cannot be oblivious of history. I think tens of thousands of temples have been destroyed, desecrated under various dispensations of the Muslim and Mughal rule. But of all of these tens of thousands of such temples, whether it is Ayodhya, Kashi, Mathura, these are among the most holiest places for any Hindu in this world, any real Hindu. Any practicing Hindu would consider Kashi as the holiest place or holiest place for the religion. So, is Mr. Owaisi willing to at least concede that this is a barbarity that was perpetrated in Kashi? I concede places like Ayodhya, Mathura and Kashi should be above any kind of altercation between the communities. Is Mr. Owaisi willing to say, I'm willing to concede the claims of the Muslims on these temples, because anybody who goes to Kashi and Mathura can see the masjid standing next to the most holiest of Hindu shrines, and it doesn't require even it doesn't require minimal intelligence to understand this was an atrocity, barbarity that was perpetrated on Hindus. So if Owaisi is willing to concede, if Muslim community is willing to concede, because these are very holy places, we are not going to indulge in yet another long dispute over Kashi, because I can tell you, any Hindu in this world will consider Kashi as the ultimate place of salvation.
Okay.
And Baba Vishwanath
is to
is the
concede
So one by one, let me go to
the Muslim community to be
so
conceded before you.
Taslim Rahmani wants to come in.
Highly
GVL
objectionable
Narasimha
that
Rao
he-
says,
he-
settle
he
this
is asking
quickly,
the whole community to
don't
concede.
prolong, concede the barbarity, not by you, but by the Mughal rulers. It's not got to do with current day Muslims in our country, it's got to do with the Mughal emperors. Concede that what happened at that time was wrong, find grounds for reconciliation. Dr. Rahmani.
Yeah, but he said very openly that there are tens of thousands mandir has been desecrated, and there are people who are claiming that we need 900, at least 900 mosques to be converted into temple. Some people are saying that there are 30,000 mosques have to be converted. So if somebody is asking that where will it stop, what is wrong therein? And now GVL Narasimha Rao is asking directly from Asaduddin Owaisi, will you concede? So he's not asking to concede to the barbaric people. He is asking to concede the Muslim community that yes, he wants me to reply or the community to reply that we are considering that yes, sorry, our ancestors has desecrated tens of thousands of temples, so I bow to you, now we are the second class citizens. Is that what Mr. GVL Narasimha?
How can you, GVL Narasimha Rao, blame the likes of Asaduddin Owaisi or Dr. Rahmani for what the Mughal emperors did? In similar manner, past Hindu rulers went after Buddhist temples, for example, and that has been a chain of history where at that time it was the done deal. Whoever had power in a kingdom would act against the temporal interests of other religions.
Rahul, I am not holding any of the Muslim leaders or Muslim community of today responsible for barbarity 500 years ago. But I will certainly hold you responsible if you want to perpetuate that barbarity, and if you want to derive any kind of sadistic pleasure. I'm using very strong words, but I would certainly think they are relevant here. If you want to get such pleasure by seeing Hindus, devout Hindus in pain.
What exactly? Will you pronounce the word? What exactly you want from us?
This barbarity.
What exactly you want?
I think then you are acting as ancestors.
Why
of
you are
Aurangzeb.
relating me to
You are acting as ancestors. I certainly hold you have nothing to do with Taslim ji. Let me complete. I certainly believe you have nothing to do with the barbarity.
Spell out what exactly you want
us. Years ago. But if you want to insist your claim. You want to insist on that claim, then you are trying to be ancestors of Aurangzeb and not true citizens of this composite culture. Composite culture does not mean that Hindu
what you are demanding from us
continues to
do you
suffer,
want me to let you go with tens of thousands of the
humiliation that was heaped on us hundreds of years ago? I'm asking you a very simple
thousands of mosques shall be handed over to the BJP people?
No.
It's not about Hindu, I know it very well. It's not about Hindus, it's about the BJP and RSS.
No, at least I would like to say, because
this Sangh Parivar wanted me to give you all those tens of thousands of mosques.
Taslim ji, I have made a very simple suggestion. I said there are some temples. You see, all 10,000 temples are not of that holy nature. There are a few temples. So let them
but that's the question.
Can it be a
but GVL, that's the question. When Ayodhya's judgment came out, it's written in the judgment that this is where reclaiming past temples will stop. At that time, the RSS spoke itself publicly in a press conference. We saw ministers say it. It's written in the Supreme Court judgment. Then suddenly other claims have come up. Taj Mahal's got added, the Qutub Minar has got added. There are reports coming in from different parts of the country. Taslim, Rahmani, Pawan Khera is asking the question that where does this stop? Today GVL is saying Mathura is important, Kashi is important, in the same way Ayodhya was important. The likes of Rahmani wonder if we even, and it is true that there were temples where there are now mosques, but if we give over Kashi and Mathura, will it stop there or will it be something else?
Rahul, am I supposed to say?
GVL, you've spoken twice. Let Pawan Khera speak. You're asking for the Muslim community to concede. The Rahmani says, what do I have to do with what Aurangzeb did wrong? Let Pawan speak.
Rahul, there are two aspects to it. You said, where does it all stop? I say, where does it all begin from? Say, in the 6th century, in the post-Gupta period, there was the Huna dynasty. And Mihirkul, son of Turman Shah, destroyed 1,600 Buddhist stupas, killed thousands of monks. What if the Buddhists start claiming all those 1,600 sites? Shaivites. In the post-Maurya period again, around Vidisha, and I've been there several times, around Vidisha, several shamans were killed, Buddhist monks were killed, Buddhist stupas were destroyed, and Shiv temples were erected. What if they reclaim that? Where do you start history from is the question, and where do you stop all this is the second question. So therefore, the 1991 Act tried to put a stop. This is the cutoff date. Let's stop from here and let's talk about nation building and not these regressive debates. Now, during partition, Rahul, in the Punjab region, it was then Pepsu, mosques, abandoned mosques, were converted into temples, gurdwaras, even churches. What if Muslims were to seek those mosques? हमारी है, हमें वापस दे दीजिए, क्या करोगे आप? Where does the history begin in the RSS nursery of thought? From the 12th century, the Mamluk dynasty, or from the Aryan invasion? What about the ancient ancestral South Indians start claiming कि भैया Aryans आए थे, हमें उन्होंने धकेल दिया, चलिए हमारी जमीनें वापस कीजिए. What about Adivasis? If they say Dravidians और हम लोगों को Aryans
let GVL respond to this question.
Where do you start?
What if the Adivasis claim the lands outside the jungles where they once inhabited on both sides of the Ganga and the Yamuna? What about Hindu rulers who destroyed Buddhist temples? What if they start claiming, the Buddhists start claiming these were originally Buddhist temples and therefore we must have them back? GVL Narasimha Rao.
Rahul, I think this whataboutery is being used as a ruse. Is being used as a ruse to somehow try and dodge this issue. I think it doesn't require any inquiry to know that Kashi is the ultimate place of faith for Hindus in this world. Mathura is the Krishna Janmabhoomi. There is not a single other, there cannot be any other place of the same kind. And secondly, the Congress party is the real culprit in this. And I will blame them. All this reconciliation would have happened immediately after independence. But for pseudo-secular Congress party, which created this sort of sentiment among Muslims, they turned the Congress, which has always been an anti-Hindu party, has always not allowed this reconciliation to happen. We all know what Jawaharlal Nehru did about
during the Babri Masjid issue.
All these issues would have been settled.
These are the people who kept dodging the issue.
Independence.
Mr. Advani had the cheek to say.
I did not interject. I did not.
Mr. Khera, Pavan, you wanted a free run when you spoke. You didn't want GVL to intervene. Pavan, you spoke at length. You made a point.
I did not interject.
No, 1 second. Let GVL conclude. I'll come back to you, and I haven't gone to the SP leader or to Sriraj Nair. GVL.
No, I thought the Congress party led by Rahul Gandhi, though not as president today, he is a confirmed, claimed Shiv Bhakt. Why would a Shiv Bhakt, a self-proclaimed Shiv Bhakt, not want to have a claim on the real Shivling, which is 2,000-year-old Shivling? Has he lost his faith in Shiv as a Shiv Bhakt? Has he ceased to be a Shiv Bhakt? And why is this debate regressive? I think this has remained unreconciliated for thousands of years. The BJP has not taken this up. The matter is before the courts. Some people who practice Hindu religion, who are devout bhakts of Shivji.
Let Pavan Khera respond that this is not being pushed and driven by the BJP. There are local petitioners who've gone to court, and therefore don't blame the Modi Sarkar. This is a voice coming from society.
First of all, he should understand these people don't understand the meaning of religion and definitely not the meaning of Hindu. They don't understand what Hindu religion is. ये RSS की जो पाठशालाओं में सिखाया जाता है वो हिंदू धर्म नहीं है. Shiv Bhakti does not mean you go about invoking issues which are non-issues. You go about invoking riots. This is not Shiv Bhakti. तो आप तो शिव का नाम भी मत लिया कीजिए, क्योंकि ना आप में भक्ति है, ना आपको शिव जी समझ में आएंगे, ना कभी आपको हिंदू धर्म समझ में आएगा. You haven't responded to me. What if the ancient ancestral South Indians were to claim कि भैया आर्यंस आपने हमारी जमीनों पे कब्जा किया, पीछे हटिए? आप क्या पीछे हटेंगे? बताइए, इसका जवाब दीजिए. यहाँ वहाँ की बातें मत करिए, बहुत डॉज करते हैं आप, मैंने देखा आपको पहले भी. What about the Buddhists?
I will answer. Rahul, give me an opportunity.
Don't interrupt.
I will give it.
For them,
I will respond.
don't interrupt the genome sequencing which came out in March of 2018 is very clear about the Aryans. So don't even debate on that with me. Now, you haven't responded. Some of the stupas destroyed by Hunas and by Pushyamitra Shunga were very, very important for Buddhists. दीजिए पहले उन्हें वापस, चलिए चलते हैं, मैं और आप दोनों कोर्ट में चलते हैं, आप बीजेपी से, मैं कांग्रेस में. लेट्स गो टू द कोर्ट, रिस्टोर द बुद्धिस्ट साइट्स टू द बुद्धिस्ट. कम चलिए आइए, मैं आपको चैलेंज करता हूं. Let Shriraj Nair of the VHP respond to this.
Shriraj Nair, what if Buddhist,
हम दोनों जाएंगे कोर्ट.
Okay, what if Buddhist leaders start claiming places where earlier there were stupas which were destroyed or brought down and temples were built in their stead?
See, Rahul, first of all, I am very sorry to hear Mr. Pawan said so childish. He's raking up Aryan theory and Dravidian theory. Now, the BJP leader, Mr. Narasimhan, and me both are from South India, and he is talking about South Indians claiming about North Indians or the Aryan attack. So these are all jokes. Now, the world has rejected the Aryan Dravidian theory, and Lord Buddha, who is Lord Buddha? Doesn't he know his background? Who is Lord Buddha? Who is Lord Mahavir? So let us not talk which has no sense.
No. Now, come on. Let me know who is Lord Buddha according to you. Tell me. You're walking into a trap.
Congress party, even after losing and being wiped out electorally, they are not learning lessons. Every time they come, and again in this forthcoming, when the elections are going to come, they are going to fall below 2 digits, double digits. This is the reason they have been wiped out. And it is not, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, before elections, he goes on temple hopping. So that is not, this is clear hypocrisy of the Congress party. They never talk anything about Islam. They never talk about the atrocities by the missionary. They only attack, mock, ridicule Hindu Dharma. And they are paying price for that. So
concerned, Ashutosh Verma, that parties like yours could lose out because during the elections, you were trying to win the Muslim vote as much as you were trying to win the Yadav vote and some of the EBC vote. Now the likes of Asuddin Owaisi are saying when GVL, the BJP, the VHP are challenging, aap log kahan ho? You're not speaking out in our favor. Are you concerned that this could edge parties like the SP out of the conversation ahead of 2024, polarize Indian society even further?
Not at all, Rahul. I think the irony of today's debate is that across the country, the debate is going on the thing which has been happening in 14th century. And we are not debating which has happening in 2022. WHO is asking what have been happened in Corona 2021. About 4.7 million death has been occurred. What was the statistics? So that we may have a future health policy for the India. But the Indian government is not going to talk about things. We are not talking why today the $1 is going to be of 77.19 rupees. Inflation is third highest in the world. So let's talk about Gyanvapi Masjid, then Mathura, then Kashi, then all these things. And let's do all these bullshit debates across the India so that the real issue may get deviated and all the peoples get. And what you are talking, the voice coming from society? No. The actual voice coming from society, why politicians are discussing about these issues.
Okay, let GVL respond that this is a weapon of mass destruction. Inflation is surging to multi-year highs. You are increasing interest rates. The promised uptick in the investment cycle hasn't happened. And therefore, all of this is being pushed or subtly backed by the BJP so that people's attention is diverted from real issues of rosy, kapda and makan.
Rahul, this is a very, I would say, oft-repeated charge against us, which people have rejected. Only a month ago, they were making the same kind of accusations against us 3 months ago. And people of Uttar Pradesh have really given a massive mandate to the BJP and rejected all those charges. If there is one government that has managed economy, that has steered economy very successfully through this entire corona period, it is the government of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. World over, inflation, all over, the inflation has reached 50-year highs, 40-year highs in Europe, in US, everywhere in the world. India is one country that has managed to not only not only keep inflation at reasonable levels, but has also
It's a reasonable
continued to
level.
grow in the last
Do you consider
2
2
years,
years
even
the
during the
inflation
corona
is reasonable
period.
level?
So now
Rahul,
question
this
is,
is
I don't
very-
want them to run
very
away from the
shocking
debate today.
that a MP
It
of
is
the
no,
Rajya
this
Sabha
is
says
not
that
a debate
inflation
that
is
BJP
reasonable
has
level.
started.
Rahul, I may interrupt
This is
here.
not
I
a,
may interrupt
can
here.
I, Rahul, I
Okay,
think allow
let
them-
GVL
let
complete.
them allow me the
Ashutosh,
same courtesy. I
Ashutosh,
have not
let GVL
rejected anybody.
complete.
Rahul.
I'll come back to you in a moment, Pawan and Ashutosh. Let GVL get 20 more seconds to complete his point. GVL.
Yeah, you see, in terms of economy, in terms of development, in terms of stability, in terms of controlling terrorism, Modi's government has done unparalleled, has been unparalleled success. And now today's debate is whether you are on the side of Aurangzeb or on the side of barbarity, or you are on the side of
No,
justice.
but like you're
We are
accusing
seeking
the
justice.
opposition of
Hindus
being in
of this
denial,
country
can I
are
ask
seeking
you,
justice.
GVL?
Object to that. This is not.
Would you,
this debate is not about Aurangzeb or
would you
Babur.
concede-
This debate is about India and the future of India.
Would
and
you
the people
concede
of India. This
that
is not about
inflation is a real challenge at this moment?
Whether you support
Rising
Aurangzeb,
interest rates are a real challenge at this moment?
This is about the future of India. This is about the Indian
No,
national
they are
patriotism.
very important. The
You cannot
government
tell
is
me
seized of that
you are not
issue.
replying
We are the
whatever-
media.
what
You see,
Pawan
you
Khera has
can't blame
asked
me
and
why
what
media is
Ashutosh has
discussing
asked.
this issue. Because the courts have really ordered for a videography inside
Okay,
inside the
Pawan
Gyanvapi.
Khera wants to make a big
and the
counter.
media is talking about it.
People are talking about it,
It is not
society is
government
debating
which
it,
is
there is
conducting this
interest in the
debate.
story, which is why it's
If
being
it
done,
is-
as is also the inflation and interest rate story as well. But let Pawan Khera come in and respond to
The
GVL.
wholesale price index has crossed 15%,
Correct?
25-year high. Now he was just giving data from other countries. अपने देश का data ये जानबूझ के भूल जाते हैं. Unemployment is 45-year high. So ये इस पे जवाब दीजिए. चलिए आइए. डॉलर की हालत देखिए, रुपए की हालत देखिए डॉलर के सामने. पेट्रोल, डीजल, कुकिंग गैस. You know, in the entire world, India spends the most on cooking gas. जवाब दीजिए क्यों? So these are the issues you want to run away from. And then this argument, Rahul, हम तो चुनाव जीते हैं. तो 70 साल का अब जबान पे नाम मत लाइएगा, क्योंकि 70 साल में हम भी हर बार चुनाव ही जीत कर आए थे. तो कभी बोलिएगा मत आज के बाद नेहरू जी, इंदिरा जी, राजीव जी, नरसिम्हा राव के अगेंस्ट एक शब्द मत बोलिएगा. वो सब चुनाव जीत कर आए. क्या है इसमें? आप अपना चुनाव जीतने का, हम तो चुनाव जीत के आए, तो सारे मुद्दे खत्म. तो सारे मुद्दे 70 साल वाले खत्म करिए. अब हम भी चुनाव जीत कर आए. आइंदा बोलिएगा मत. बोलेंगे तो हम भी यही सुनाएंगे आपको. हम चुनाव जीत कर आए. इसलिए don't hide behind these victories. These victories doesn't mean that you create these controversies. The victory means that you reduce unemployment. The victory means that you reduce petrol and diesel price. Please understand, राजधर्म क्या होता है ये समझिए पहले. ये राजधर्म नहीं है कि आप पुराने सारे मुद्दे लेकर आएंगे, उछालते रहेंगे थोड़ी देर में ताकि समाज बढ़ता रहे. This is not your job to divide society the way you are doing it. और मुझे उसका जवाब मुझे अभी तक नहीं मिला है. जो गुरुद्वारे और चर्च और मंदिर बने हैं मॉस्क को डिस्ट्रॉय करके, उनका भी जवाब दीजिए. हरियाणा के पंजाब वाले,
let that be debated. No, you go to court. Nothing prevents you. Pawan Khera.
Okay, Pawan, you've spoken now. Now let's listen to GVL's response. Pawan asking GVL if you accept that social fissures and divisions in society increase as a result of what we're seeing at this moment.
No, I welcome decision of Pawan Khera to go to court in favor of Buddhist monasteries or in favor of churches. Please go. Who is stopping you? Who is stopping you? Go and challenge it in the court of law. But nothing, there can be nothing comparable to my Kasi.
फिर आप बुद्धिज्म के खिलाफ हैं. फिर आप हिंदुस्तान के खिलाफ हैं. चलिए मेरे साथ कोर्ट. I challenge you to come to the court with me. अगर हिम्मत है तो आइए कोर्ट. चलिए बुद्धिस्ट स्तूपास को बचाइए. नालंदा लाइब्रेरी किसने जलाई थी? नालंदा की लाइब्रेरी किसने जलाई थी? चलिए कोर्ट चलिए. आप मेरे साथ चलिए कोर्ट. हिम्मत दिखाइए.
You should fight for the justice of any particular group. You are welcome to go to the court.
Come, let's go to the court.
But you are only using it as a rules.
ये क्या?
You are using it only to further consolidate your minority vote bank.
Rule by law.
I challenge. I accuse the Congress party. I am accusing the Congress party of inflaming flames among Muslims. Not to concede, not to reconcile.
Ashutosh Verma,
for the barbarity.
Ashutosh Verma, GVL says this is not being pushed by the BJP. Locals have gone to court. we're only going and responding to what the courts are doing. Ashutosh.
Yeah, that's shocking was that the GVL is saying that the inflation is at reasonable level. I am very sorry.
Rahmani Saab, let Dr. Verma speak. I'm coming back to you. Rahmani Saab, let Ashutosh speak. I'll come to you next.
It's very shocking that people like GVL Narasimha says that the inflation is at reasonable level. Look, Rahul, we the people of the middle class people can't afford 109 rupees a litre in the Lucknow. We can't afford. He says that his party says about 25% of people of India using LPG connection. And we are taking the maximum, highest price value of LPG. The India has facing the highest global burden of undernutrition. But because Bharatiya Janata Party and their leader wants to that issues like Gyanvapi, Kashi, Mathura to be center of the stage, they are provoking all these things. Who are the petitioner? Check who are the petitioner, what is the background of this petitioner, who are either they are not connected to Bharatiya Janata Party or not.
Okay, Taslim Rahmani, respond to GVL Narasimha's point that these are locals who've gone to court. Don't blame the BJP. The BJP is not pushing this.
No. Who has challenged the 1991 Places of Worship Act? Ashwani Upadhyay? Isn't he is responsible for the media department of BJP Delhi state?
Correct.
Is it a non-attached person? And whosoever, there are so many people who are directly or indirectly belonging to the BJP or RSS or their affiliated organizations or even the sympathizers. And they say that they don't belong to BJP. And we are not concerned about a single mosque or 900 mosques or 10,000. I am concerned about India. I am concerned about the future of India. I am concerned about the people residing today in the today's day-to-day life. I am concerned for them. And you are trying to deviate this issue just for the sustenance of your governance? What a pity on you and your party. That at the name of a Astha, at the name of a Mandir, you have formed the government and you want to continue this government at the name of another temple. That's what you are doing. And that's why we are asking, where will it stop? And you are not replying what Pawan Khera has asked you. I am thankful to Pawan Khera that he raised the question which I wanted to raise here. And I am thankful to Mr. Ashutosh that he raised that what are the real issues of the country. These are not the real issues. You see the petition in Varanasi High Court, the petitioner has cited the examples of Ashwani Upadhyay in Varanasi High Court. And you say that they don't belong to BJP. It's all BJP which is playing this hatred,
GVL,
full politics.
It doesn't take too much forensic investigation to establish that most of the people pushing these cases in court are either directly or by association affiliated either to the BJP or to bodies linked to the BJP RSS. And therefore, you can't say that this is happening automatically because there is an ideological affinity with what we are seeing play itself out.
Rahul, every devout Hindu is not a BJP leader, but many of them, a large number of them, are supporters of BJP. I have no doubt about it, because nobody votes for Congress these days or for Samajwadi Party. So therefore, most of them maybe are supporters. But we have not gone to the court. Government has not taken a stand on this issue. It is not BJP which has gone officially. In any case, it doesn't matter. Even if I go to court, as a petitioner, court is not going to look at my affiliation and decide on the matter. The matter will be decided on the merits of the matter, merits of the issue. So why should anybody have a problem? But why does Taslim Rahmani want insult and humiliation that was perpetrated on Hindus to be perpetuated even today? Why do you want to be perpetuated? What is the significance of Gyanvapi to Muslims? Please tell me that. What is the significance of Gyanvapi?
Okay.
I can tell you what is the significance of
Taslim Rahmani respond to this.
People of India to the BJP rule.
You know it. You know it. But you have been fed on this. You have been fed on this minorityism by Congress party.
No, Dr. Rahmani, respond to this question that GVL Narasimha Rao asked. Given the special significance of Rahmani Sahab, given the special significance of the Kashi Mathura temples and the fact that they are so closely associated with the core ethos of the Hindu religion, GVL Narasimha Rao says Kashi and Mathura are not normal places. These are very sacred places for the Hindus, whereas it's not like a Mecca or a Medina for the Muslims.
So there is no comparison with Makkah and Medina, and I am not going into that debate of the Makkah, Medina, Kashi, Mathura, etc. We respect Kashi, we respect Mathura, we respect Ram Janam Bhoomi, everything. It's our Astha as per the Indian Astha. So we don't have any disrespect to any of the deities or any of the temples. But that doesn't mean that you will release a list of 30,000 mosques. That doesn't mean that you will disrespect to a community. That doesn't mean that you will ask a community to concede to the Hindu community, and actually Hindu community is not demanding it. It's a Hindutvavadi, particular Hindutvavadi.
Okay. So I want to show viewers what happened at the Qutub Minar, because you've got the claims about a Shivling at the Gyanvapi Masjid. Now there is glare on the Qutub Minar's Narsimha. Another idol of a Hindu deity has been found at the Mughal monument in Delhi. Now the clamour is going for a Qutub Minar Wapsi, and demands are being raised for the gates of the Qutub Minar to be opened for surveyors.
The structure that marked the beginning of the Muslim Sultanate in India finds itself in another controversy. After Hindu deity Lord Ganesh and Lord Krishna's idol carvings were found on the pillars of the Quwwatul Islam Mosque within the Qutub Minar complex, this time it's Lord Narsingha and his disciple Prahlad carved in stone on the pillars of perhaps the oldest mosque in North India. Archaeological experts claim that this idol is at least 1,200 years old. This idol was found on a pillar of the mosque that was carved in between 8th and 9th century during the reign of the Pratihara kings or Raja Anangpal. Earlier demands for excavation in the area have been raised. Experts believe more such remnants of Hindu temples could be found if a survey is conducted. An appeal has been filed in the district court once again. The suit says that the temple complex be restored to protect the religious and cultural heritage of India and practice the right to religion guaranteed by Article 25 and 26 of the Constitution of India. This time by the Jain deity Tirthankar Lord Rishabdev and Hindu deity Lord Vishnu through their next of friends. Because the ASI themselves claim that 27 Hindu and Jain temples in Qutub Minar were demolished and Quwwatul Islam Mosque was raised inside the complex, reusing the same materials. Last week, two right-wing fringe groups were detained near the Qutub Minar after they assembled at the site to recite the Hanuman Chalisa, claiming that the site was once a Vishnu temple and demanded Qutub Minar be named as Vishnu's thumb.
It has been claimed inside by the Archaeological Survey of India that at the time when the Qutub Minar and the masjid was built, it was done so by demolishing 27 Hindu and Jain temples, and the stones and the carvings of those temples were used to once again build the entire structure around the Qutub Minar. And that is a claim that has been put forward with the newer idols and discoveries that are being made by historians and archaeological survey people, which is why this matter has also gone to court, and the next hearing for the petition that has been filed to restore the Qutub Minar area as a temple and allow people the right to worship inside is going to be heard on the 24th of May. With Alok Das in New Delhi, Milan Sharma for India Today.
Now here's the question for you, GVL Narasimha Rao. You're saying Kashi and Mathura are important. Now there are these claims. Let's assume for a moment, hypothetically, that it is accepted that the Kashi mosque was actually a temple and Hindus get the right to worship over there. But then there'll be the claims about the Qutub Minar, because even at the Qutub Minar there is a plaque which reads that there stood more than 24 temples over there where the Qutub Minar now stands. Then it will become that this is very important, it's in the capital, this is the Qutub Minar, this must now become the Vishnu Stamp.
Yeah, Rahul, I have no doubt that tens of thousands of such temples, important temples, have been razed to the ground to build whatever they felt like. So I'm not in the least disputing that. But there has to be an evidence on the ground, and the court matter can only be.
No, but at the Qutub Minar, it's actually written by the ASI that 27 temples stood there. The evidence exists. Now suddenly anybody, and I've been going to Varanasi for many years, the fact that the Gyanvapi Mosque stood where a temple once stood is well known. It's not even breaking news or some new video being discovered. It's common knowledge over there. In the same way, anybody who goes to the Qutub Minar, if you read the plaques, it says that temples stay there, that there were temples there where the Qutub Minar now stands. Now tomorrow somebody will go and say this must now not be the Qutub Minar, rename it.
Okay, Rahul, that's the reason I said where is on the part of the Muslim community, they have a hard stand. They are willing to side with Aurangzeb and not with the majority Hindus of this country whose faith is immense in places like, okay, let them come forward and say, okay, these masjid I'm willing to forego, we will not pray there. I would like, can I complete? I am saying something
Mehmani Sahab, let me complete. Mehmani, this is not right. Let GVL complete. Mehmani Shrader goes down. Let GVL complete, please. GVL, 20 seconds. I'm also running out of time.
Yes, I want the Muslim community to come forward and say, yes, we understand these are places of high sacred nature for Hindus. Therefore, we are willing to concede. We will not pray at Gyanvapi. We will pray somewhere else. Why can't you show a large heart? If you do that, it will be difficult for anybody else to lay claim to any temple that was destroyed in the past. But today, they are deliberately trying to heap or rather reignite the wounds of the past by making statements, by calling Shivling a fountain. You are only further insulting. You are adding insult to the injury.
There is Pawan Khera.
I am telling you,
there is Pawan Khera.
Not any other temple.
A movement towards a larger truth and reconciliation in different parts of the world. We saw it in the post-apartheid era in South Africa. We saw it after the Second World War in Germany. We've seen it during and after the Black Lives Matters movement in the United States, where you have to confront the reality of the past. GVL Narasimha Rao says there must be acknowledgement, there cannot be denial. You can't say that these things never happened because they did. It is a reality of India's history. It has to be accepted.
Rahul, there is no doubt that we have evolved as a nation the way we are today through a huge journey in which several dynasties came. They did what they did. As part of history, recorded history. But I want to ask GVL that why should reconciliation only be for the majority through the minority, and why not the Buddhists? I ask him again, will he come to the court with me to restore to the Buddhists the entire area of Sanchi and Vidisha, where Shiva temples have been erected by Hindus?
Okay.
They burnt down those monasteries. Will he come to the court with me? Let's not talk about Muslims where he hates the words. Let's talk about Buddhists. Will he come? Will he ask the Hindus to reconcile and give up their claim on those temples?
Okay, I'm out of time. This is a debate that's going nowhere.
Please come forward.
The matter comes up in the Supreme Court tomorrow.
Take up the issue on behalf of the Buddhists.
To India. Show your commitment to the spirit of India, to the soul of India.
Take it up on behalf of Buddhists.
Let's come together. So, will you ask those temples to be demolished? Let's see.
Yes.
So that the Buddhist stupas can be erected. Let's see if GVL will do it with me.
Come forward with all those, evidences, Pawan.
To the court.
Yeah, come forward.
Your Mr. Modi will throw you out of the party. आप यहाँ बोल तो रहे हैं, कल ही सुबह मोदी जी आपको पार्टी से बाहर कर देंगे. यहाँ मत इतना उछल के बोलिए.
We are real सबका साथ सबका विकास party.
Okay. This is a debate that's far from reaching a conclusion. This will continue to build. The matter comes up in the Supreme Court. We'll track what happens tomorrow. It's a story, a debate that is generating a lot of conversation across the country. Whether it is indeed a Shivling, whether if it is a Shivling, does it need to be acknowledged? Does the current generation of minority Muslims in any way owe an apology for what Aurangzeb and the Mughal emperors did? Is this an attempt at truth and reconciliation and a belated attempt at that? Or is this just a weapon of mass distraction? As always on the Newstrack, I don't tell you what to think. We leave it to you, our viewers, to decide on the basis of opinion that you've heard articulated on both sides of the divide, on the basis of the reportage that we've put out, who you think has the more compelling argument and where you stand on this burning issue. Coming up on the other side of a quick break, this is the result of sickening apathy in Bengaluru. A few hours of rain and the city starts to sink. Details on the other side.
After 2 years of paralyzing pandemic, the world is ready to bounce back. Will shifting power centers make this India's big moment? Risk, resilience and revival on the agenda. What's India's role in the global rebalance? India's top world watcher takes you to the front lines of the global high table with top minds from politics and business for the biggest global brainstorm. Live and exclusive coverage only on India Today TV.
You are watching India Today.
Today is, the launch to the world of a fully operational urban airport. The first time ever in the world that there's an operational piece of infrastructure of this kind.
I think you'll see some operations this decade, but I think the 2030s will really be the decade of advanced air mobility, and you'll really start to see this be more ubiquitous from that point on.
The images that I'm about to show you are from Bengaluru. Another year, another bout of rainfall in the city brought to its knees. Broken infrastructure, failed planning, zero action. Citizens are asking, who's sinking Bengaluru?
Just hours of rain and Bengaluru was down on its knees. Waterlogged streets, uprooted trees, lives lost. Same old urban apathy every year during monsoon. Heavy rains have left behind a trail of destruction in Silicon City and adjoining areas. 2 civic workers died while working in an underground pipeline choked with rainwater in Bengaluru. Chickpet, a commercial hub in Bengaluru, was adversely impacted. Although the water receded, roads remain filled with slush, posing a huge challenge for residents and shopkeepers. Many arterial roads and several parts of the city were heavily waterlogged for hours. The Met Department has predicted widespread rains in coastal Karnataka over the next 48 hours.
We are expecting widespread rains over coastal Karnataka for next 2 days, followed by fairly widespread rains from day 3 to day 5, that is from 20th to 22nd.
An orange alert has been issued for Bengaluru on May 18. Heavy rains are predicted.
Every time the rainy season, this problem is here only, like that only. They will come, visit, see and move on. They don't do any work here.
There are many holes. When water is there, the people doesn't know if their holes are there. 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers, everything gets damaged. This is the whole scenario, and yesterday also many water has gone to the many shops.
According to the resident here, the water was way above 4 feet. So definitely all the ground level houses would have been affected. Water would have breached the ground floor of many of these houses. Here you can see a car as well that has been parked, and you can see the basement of that house completely inundated. Now water is still yet to be received from this place. Now residents say that BBMP officials haven't yet visited this place, and you know they've been promising to take action, but there's been no action taken on the ground just as yet.
Meanwhile, Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai and BJP leader C.T. Ravi visited some flooded areas.
ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಡೀ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ನು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜಕಾಲುವೆಗಳನ್ನು ಪೂರ್ಣ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೊರಗಡೆಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನೀರು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹರಿದು ಹೋದಾಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಹಲವಾರು ಕಡೆ ರಾಜಕಾಲುವೆ ಒಂದು ಹಂತಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನಿಲ್ಲುವಂಥ ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಅವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಗುರುತಿಸಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಈಗ, ಮತ್ತು ಕಾಮಗಾರಿಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಈ ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವು ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಬಾಟಲ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ತೆಗೆದು ಹಾಕೋಕ್ಕೆ ಈಗ ಆದೇಶ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಸುಮಾರು 1600 ಕೋಟಿ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೂಡ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒದಗಿಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಕಾಮಗಾರಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
A failure of urban infrastructure, the Garden City virtually crippled in just hours of rainfall. With Karthik, Bureau Report, India Today.
This is where I wrap up the Newstrack tonight. For your time and your trust, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. Till then, from all of us here on the Newstrack team, goodbye, good night.